Hey, what up, everybody? It's Uncle Stitch. So, one of the things that I haven't done in a long time is make a knife review. So, I make these videos on knife reviews for the people who don't understand why we spend $500 on a knife or $1,000 on a knife. And they're like, well, dude, you could have bought a fucking handgun for that. And what they don't understand is a handgun has one purpose. You know, and I can't tell you how many times I've ever needed one, because I haven't ever needed one. I have them, but these have purpose. These have use, and they don't have to be for self-defense. And by the way, these are not $500. These are beautiful knives, but they're not. When they were for sale, when they came out, they were selling for about $99 to $150, depending on the retailer. Nowadays, they don't make these anymore. Everybody's out of stock, and they're becoming a rare item. So, you know, you might expect to pay anywhere between $150 to $300 for one of these. It just depends on the supply and demand. You know, if it's the only one up on eBay, the guy can name his price, essentially. So, you know, to me, there's a lot of things about the Massdrop Buc that I prefer over other knives. And some of these things that I'm going to talk about, you guys are going to be like, you know what? I got the same thing out of a Civivi, or I got the same thing out of Zero Tolerance. And you know, I absolutely love the design of these knives, but I will say Zero Tolerance has some amazing stuff in their own style. And this is more my style. This is when I pull these things out and I use them. This is men don't get a whole lot of jewelry, and this is my man jewelry. You know what I mean? It's got a clean click to it. I love the way that blade looks. It looks sick as hell. And when this thing is down just like that, she looks evil. Oh, she looks fucking evil. The infatuations that I have with this is, and this is a Spyderco trick. I love Spyderco. But you start with your fingers down like this, and then you move it to the back, and you open it like that. That's a Spyderco thing. It works very, very well with these knives. Obviously, in the back of these, there's the stud, and you can, you know, very easily deploy your knife. But I will say, it takes very little force to open this, but I do see how these tabs to new beginners, when they pick up a knife like this and they've never had a stud like that and they don't know what it's for or how to use it, yeah, it's not really user friendly until you get that feel and understanding that when you see those studs, you have to go backwards like that to open it, and it takes very, very little pressure to do that, and you have a fucking scalpel at your fingertips, ready to cut any fucking piece of... Oh man, the way that shines. I gotta clean it up a little bit. It's got some fingerprints on it, but it's just beautiful. It's just fucking beautiful. You know, these knives, and I have another one on the way, by the way. There is an elegance to the design of these blades, and I believe the new version of this is the Massdrop DAO, and you'll notice that it's a sheep's foot. And I don't know what happened, but Ferrum Forge isn't on the label, and it's a sheep's foot. The blade's a little bit different, but the handles appear to be the same. So I think the Dow is supposed to be the Massdrop Buc replacement, maybe, because they're not producing these anymore. So, you know, one of the things that infatuates me about this is the handles are made of titanium. Titanium. And that is such an expensive material to work with. In order to engrave lines into titanium, you have to have a router, an amazing blade that's like CNC machine blade, fucking drill bit, and you have to keep cooling on it the entire time, because the more titanium heats up, the tougher it gets, and that's how it breaks drill bits and shit. So, you know, when I see work like this, anybody would just pass over this knife. But when I see the amount of time that it took to design this, I have a deep appreciation for it. I have a severe appreciation. and to make one of the toughest materials on the planet, titanium, springy enough to use the frame lock to lock the blade is beautiful. This is titanium that I have moved with my thumb. The other thing that I like about this is when it does close, and it's pillow soft. It's pillow soft to move. Right here at this second when it clicks into place. It's solid. You can feel the vibration through the handles. That thing is locked up. And all it takes for a deploy is one of those. And you have one of the most beautifully designed blades I have ever felt. Or seen. Sorry. I was distracted. She's fucking beautiful. She is fucking beautiful. But yeah. Massdrop Buc, Ferrum Forge. Super lightweight knife. The cons that I have that I'm growing used to because of my Spyderco collection, that I'm used to the handles being a little thicker, but it doesn't cramp my hands to use this at all. Like lighter blades, listen to this, and it is solid. Solid. Lighter blades, you know, I have enough confidence in S35VN that I think that this is going to be able to handle anything that I throw at it. I did mention the con was that it was a little weird feeling to me to have such a skinny handle, but it's nice. And the way that that's nice is when you put this in your pocket, it's like nothing's there. It's thin, it rolls around in your pocket. Yeah, I mean, you could use the pocket clip. However, this in particular pocket clip that's on here, will not sink into your pocket all the way to the point where it's not visible. So I kind of don't like advertising that I have a pocket knife on me in case somebody does decide that they're going to do something in a grocery store or whatever, you know, and they see that I have a knife on me. That's going to make me the first target. So, you know, and maybe it's just a little paranoia or whatever, but I keep this thing in my pocket, ready to go at any time. And I love pulling this thing out, opening it up, and cutting open mail. Or a box. I mean, listen to the noise. It's just a solid click. You know, she's pretty. She's pretty. I've written poetry about this knife. I really have. But yeah, I had one. Oh, what was it? Nine years ago. Maybe 7 years ago, I had one of these, and it was the mothership one, and which is funny because these were on sale for $99 at one point, and these were $170, the plain ones on both sides. I think these came out later on, and they quit making these. But so I sold it to this guy named Chancey, and after I sold it, I bought it online for, I think I paid $80 for it on a secondary market. I wasn't expecting much, but it was S35VN steel. And I have a lot of trust in S35VN steel because a lot of my Bela songs are S35, they're CPM 154, Bowler M390, they're, you know, D2 tool steel. And I've gotten to know how long these super steels will hold an edge. And S35VN is one of those steels that I am very comfortable with, that will hold an edge for a very long time and perform and precision cutting and use, you know, for basically anything. I could cook with this if I wanted to. I could slice sushi with this if I wanted to, you know, and they stay sharp for a reasonable amount of time. So, you know, I'm overwhelmingly happy with these knives. I usually, when I buy a knife, I'll give it like 3 days. And then I'm like, after I've bought it and it's been there for 3 days, if I'm still happy with it, then I'm going to keep it. If I'm not happy with it, then I'll probably like do a review or flip it a little bit or whatever, and then put it up for sale eventually. But these are going to be a part of my collection for a long time. At the moment, I have no intentions on getting rid of any of these, and I've got another one showing up. It's another Starship one, but I think it's anodized blue, which will be cool. That'll be a cool little difference. But yeah, so these are basically pocket jewelry for men. That's how I look at them, but they're useful. You know, you can, God, she looks mean. Oh man, she looks mean. And she is. But, you know, that's what these mean to me. That's what they are. That's how I view them. When one of these needs to be sharpened, because I'm going to EDC one of these. And I know that these are kind of a collector's item now, but I'm going to EDC at least one of them. And when I sharpen it on my work sharp, I'm going to go make a video on how I find the angle of the blade and how I set the angle on my machine. It's not a powered one. It's one that you have to do it by hand. And explaining why it is that I only take downstrokes when I'm sharpening. There's reasoning for that, and there's been tests done and proven that the sharpest way, the way to sharpen a knife the sharpest is downstrokes only. So that's I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I could care less. It works for me. I've made things so razor sharp that you barely have to touch paper with it and it slices right through. And that's exactly what I intend on doing with these. An S35 VN steel will hold that edge for a very long time. D2 tool steel has, and when I say D2 tool steel, I'm talking about Benchmade's D2 tool steel. The Benchmade 62 is a knife that I've had 5 different times in my life, and when it from factory, its edge that it has, you can baton it through bricks, and it will maintain its edge without a dent or a ding. So I would say D2 tool steel, and I live in a very dry environment. I live in Arizona. D2 tool steel is one of my favorite steels. I mean, there's a lot of them, but that's like one of the top favorite ones aside from S35 VN. I'm very thrilled with S35 VN. So, and I kind of like that it's not polished enough to be a mirror on these knives, which gives me more comfort in EDCing them and using them, because I don't have to worry about micro scratches showing up on a mirror design. So it's very inviting for me to EDC something like this, and just use it as a daily user, which was its intent, and now they've kind of become a collector's item. So I should have hung on to the one that I had before, because these are getting harder and harder to find. But anyway, so that's my knife review, guys. We kind of went over some things, and if you guys are thinking about purchasing one, go on eBay. If there's not enough photographs, ask the seller to take more photographs. Try to get close-ups of the bevel, and what you're looking for is dents and dings. Or if you see scrape marks consistently throughout the bevel, and it's scratched up the side of the blade, that means that the guy tried to sharpen the knife himself and he did not do it correctly, which means you now have to fix that, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. So, just when you're looking at these, make sure that if you're paying $250 for one of these, that it is in mint condition, that the shine goes all the way to the tip, and it's a straight line, and that will tell you that this is basically maybe carried a couple of times, but it's in mint condition. So, it's hard to find these, but when you do, they're a special treat. That's for sure. They're very sharp. But anyway, yeah. So I'm nothing but happy with these things. Very, very little critiquing, but the design of these is amazing. Using titanium as a frame lock, and being able to move titanium with my hands. I mean, this just screams fucking. This is a man's knife. This is a man's knife. Look at this. Click. I love that. It's just solid. And she looks so evil. She looks so ready to go for something. For cutting up that fucking letter. Or, stabbing a box. Fucking, I'm a plumber, so I open up like water heater boxes with these things. And man, when yours just slicing through one and it's not even stopping, and it's cutting it like paper. It's fucking, it's I don't know. It's a nice feeling. But yeah. So anyway, I love Massdrop Bucs. Fair Forge, they really did a good job collaborating on this knife, and hopefully one day they'll get back together and maybe design some more, because they really did something cool here. But all right, guys, have a good night. Peace.